Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. From 1968 to 75, the 7-season run of ADAM-12 aired on NBC with 175 episodes. Created and produced by Robert Senator for Jack Webb's Mark 7 Limited, the police procedural drama helped pave the way for shows like Emergency and Starsky and Hutch. The unit was 1 ADAM-12. Reportedly, the 1 stood for the LAPD division, the ADAM signified 2 officers, and the 12 was the car ID. Martin Milner and Kent McCord played officers Malloy and Reed, and the ever-familiar radio voice was an actual LAPD dispatcher named Sharon Claridge. Each ADAM-12 episode had its stories based on actual police calls. Of course, the names were changed to protect the innocent. And speaking of names, just a few of the classic TV icons who appeared on the show included the likes of Barry Williams, Dick Sargent, and David Cassidy. Tony Dow, Mark Goddard, and Lindsay Wagner also showed up. Family Affair's Johnny Whitaker appeared on the show, and speaking of Family Affair, the lovely Kathy Garver and Perry Mason's Barbara Hale both starred in the 91st episode. Jack Webb was known for emphasizing total authenticity, and in turn the show inspired many young people to become police officers. And as a matter of fact, episodes of the show were actually used as real police training videos. Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. You know what 2 of my favorite classic TV westerns were? The Big Valley and Gunsmoke. And do you know what the 2 shows had in common? Well, clearly they were both westerns, and they both had incredible casts. But even more interesting was the amount of iconic guest stars they shared. For example, there was Bruce Dern, who played a total of 9 different characters on both shows. Robert Loggia, Charles Bronson, and Oscar winner Martin Landau also guest starred. They both had Cloris Leachman, Dennis Hopper, and Richard Dreyfuss. And classic television came well represented too. Both shows had Russell Johnson, William Shatner, and Adam West. Great storylines, lots of action, and deep drama. They both had those too. Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. From 1970 to 75, The Odd Couple ran on ABC for a total of 114 episodes. Neil Simon's successful Broadway play and big screen smash was developed for television by Gary Marshall and Jerry Belson. With many legendary actors filling the roles of Oscar and Felix, it was the iconic Tony Randall and Jack Klugman who successfully brought the characters to television. One of the coolest non-comedic aspects of the show was how they would often bring in guest stars who cameoed as themselves. For instance, there was Howard Cosell, Billie Jean King and Bobby Riggs, Hugh Hefner, Paul Williams, both Dick and Roy Clark, and even the Odd Couple creator, playwright Neil Simon. Because it never cracked the top 30 in the ratings, it's reported that Tony Randall continually fretted about the show's cancellation. But in contrast, Jack Klugman was sure it would be a hit. History shows he was right. As an influential factor, Klugman earned himself a Golden Globe and an Emmy, as well as 8 more nominations for the role of Oscar Madison. Randall was nominated many times as well, finally bringing the Emmy home in 1975. But did you know that he actually earned 4 Oscars for the role? Oscar Madison's, that is. Over the years of its stage run, that's exactly how many different Oscars Tony Randall ended up working with. Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. In 1978, The Incredible Hulk began a 5-season run on CBS with a total of 80 episodes. With the great Bill Bixby cast to play Dr. Banner, casting the Hulk proved to be a bit more of a challenge. In fact, Arnold Schwarzenegger had auditioned, but the producers felt that the Hulk should be a bit taller. So they went with the much taller actor, Richard Kiel, only to realize that Richard wasn't quite muscular enough. Reportedly, Kiel didn't mind being replaced. He claimed that the eye contacts caused him great discomfort and that he wouldn't miss the problematic removal of all the green makeup. Enter former Mr. Universe, Lou Ferrigno. He was physically a great fit for the role, but this was Lou's first real steady acting job, which made it convenient that he didn't have to speak. Producer Ken Johnson consulted with Stan Lee and suggested that the Hulk be mute. Lee said he knew Ken was right, citing that Hulk crush would have sounded pretty silly on TV. Lee also went on to state that he thought that the show was brilliantly produced to cross over to a broader audience appeal, utilizing subtle changes to the comic strip. But the one thing that didn't make it past Stan was the idea of the Hulk being red to better symbolize human rage. And speaking of rage, did you know that his roars were originally vocalized by none other than Ted Cassidy, who also happened to be the show's opening sequence narrator? Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. The legendary comedy The Munsters ran from 1964 to 66. It was filmed on the Universal lot, and they based the characters off the Universal monsters. Towards the end of season 1, episode number 37 to be precise, the Munsters introduced us to Herman's boss, Mr. Gateman. He was the head of a 3-partner funeral parlor named Gateman, Berrygood, and Graves. Mr. Bateman was played by the iconic actor John Carradine. Having been in 117 feature films, John had played many roles. But fitting to the Munsters, horror seemed to be his specialty. As a matter of fact, Carradine appeared in 2 mega classics, The Invisible Man and Bride of Frankenstein. He also had roles portraying Dr. Frankenstein and Count Dracula. So not only was Carradine a perfect fit to the Munsters, it was as though he was part of the family.